What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Endless, here to bring you week 7 of LTM versus Viz. So real quick, I'm going to spoil last week's results, so if you haven't seen it yet, you have about 5 seconds before I spoil it. So we took a big 4-0 win over Freedo in a pretty hacksy game overall, but Skarmory came through and did a ton of work in the endgame. And that regained us all the differential we lost when Amo smashed us in week 5. Which brings us up to a record of 4-2 plus 8. Saying pretty good for playoffs. Obviously, we still need a couple more wins to guarantee it. But I'm feeling good right now. And this means that versus Viz, we really want this win this week. Viz, despite being 2-4 right now, has a really scary draft. It's obviously, you kind of tell it's a Psych Train meme-ish draft, but it's still pretty scary. Like stuff like Iron Crown, Terra, and Weave's armors are always difficult to deal with. Even with having double darks on my end. So that's the biggest thing. We see the Iron Crown, which is very scary. I just can't let this thing set up, basically. I need to make sure I have a way to force it out or revenge it, which is going to be difficult to do on my team, but I did find a couple responses. Garden Mulch is interesting. It definitely comes because it stabs hit me really hard. I don't think I think it could be okay defensively here, honestly, as a braviary check, but Viz is known for bringing hyper offense, so I don't think that's going to be his primary role here. And DD's okay. I mean, sets up the terrain, stops Grimstone priority, which I guess is useful, and Ice Shard from Sneasel. Personally, I don't think DD itself is very good to me, but if he wants to support, I get it. Terra Iron Weaves is a problem. It's going to be Terra Electric because I assume because everyone brings freaking Terra Electric versus me. And considering my only Weaves response is Skarmory, that's very scary. So, again, like with Crown, I'm going to get a bit creative to find a way around it. Armor is a gigantic problem because my fire resists completely fall over to Psyshock. And that's pretty easy to run. Weak armor, weakness policy is obviously pretty strong here because I have a lot of ways that I can hit super effectively without knocking it out. But I do have some responses built into the team that hopefully can handle it. I don't think Regidrago's coming. It can't break Grimmsnarl. I guess it hits Skarm, but like it can't break Grimmsnarl. It's not coming. Golurk's interesting here. I don't think it's that likely just because so much of my team just one-shots it. I mean, like these four in this like center section, Electro, Typhlosion, Grimmsnarl, Sneasel, even like Tegral Hydro Pump. It's just like so many things break it. It's really really not great here. Hisuian Decidueye is a bad Pokemon, and it's probably not coming. If it's coming, it's to run Defog, because obviously I have the Fray of Hazards of Scarb and Tentacruel. But other than that, like, it's pretty bad. I guess Veluza could come here. I don't think Veluza's great into me. Like, I guess Warsec is an okay coverage for me, but I don't know. I feel like he has better things to be doing. Carbink is almost definitely coming. I don't think there's any way around it, because otherwise then Sneasel kind of rips him apart. I mean, obviously, this made dark weaknesses, and your dark resists both being to ice. Carbink is pretty much a must bring. It's most likely going to be physically defensive here, just to check Sneasel. Could see it having some special defense investment, though, for Hisuian Braviary and Hisuian Typhlosion. But it's definitely annoying, especially if it's like an Iron Defense buy press set. But I think I have some good tools to handle it. But it is very annoying. Also, clear by being able to obviously block Parting Shot is difficult too. And Terra Mischievous, I don't really see it coming. I don't think it does anything here about Terra, and Iron is just much better Terramon. I guess you could argue it's an Okidogi check, but like not really, because it's so Violet reliant. So I don't think that's where I could come. So I really think it's the top 5 plus one of Carbink or Veluza, maybe assuming Decidueye could show up. On our end, Okidogi looks crazy here, and you're maybe saying that unless there's like 6 Psychic types, how's Okidogi look crazy? Because Terra is a stupid mechanic, my friends. Terra Dark Okidogi is like nearly impossible for him to break. His only real way to punch through is like maybe Regidrago, maybe like Hisuian Decidueye. That's about it. Skarm looks decent here. It's an okay Weaves check, but it's probably be Terra Electric. Checks Golurk. It's a soft Drago check if I'm like Spadef. It's solid here. I don't know if I 100% want to bring it, but it definitely has its place. Tentacruel is interesting. Obviously, again, a lot of psychic weakness, a lot of psychic types. But this thing does have a lot of potential offensively here. Water is very spam to Viz's team. Like, Hydro Pumps are not from to switch into. Sludge Bomb hits pretty much everything else. And a rapid spin is also nice to keep rocks off for Sneasel, which is obviously has to come, as I explained earlier. So Electro's okay here. I don't love it. I mean, like, it's okay. It gives me speed control, but not much else. I kind of have better things to do for that. So anti-potion's pretty solid. Obviously, Ghost looks really strong into him. Fire isn't bad either. If I bring it, it probably has to be Specs or Boots, because Scarf just doesn't really work here, because his mons that like are speed boosting are going to be an anyway. I guess I could, but I don't love Scarf here necessarily. And so in Braviary, unfortunately, it's another week where it probably has to be benched. Like, it's fine. It doesn't really switch into it, but Carbink shits on it really hard, and Carbink already has to come for stuff like Sneasel. So that's kind of a guaranteed stopgap to my Braviary, which is not ideal. Grimmsnarl has to come. I need screens here. Not much else to say. His offense is so strong, I need the screens. That's pretty much how it goes. Also, its stabs hit really hard, so it actually can do good damage back. If you look, actually, his top 9 Pokemon are all weak to your Dark or Fairy, so it's decent here offensively, even if it's mainly here as a screen bot. Sneasel goes bonkers here. Outspeeds the whole team. Unfortunately, I can't run Adamant because Iron Wings is fast enough to force Jolly, but doesn't really matter. Dark plus Ice hits everything so damn hard except the Carbink, and I actually do have a little tech up my sleeve for that. So hopefully I'll come into play. Sandaconda is pretty solid. It's not the best with def, but it checks his physical attackers well. If I expect electrical ease, like I think will happen, I can always run the set I've been running a lot, which is like Resist Berry plus Earthquake to hit the Terra Electric Mon. And also it does get some other useful coverage that can come up, and Glare Paralysis is always good into a team this offensive. Ampharos is okay, but Terra Dark Okidogi is so strong, there's no real point to bring Ampharos. Like, it just doesn't do anything about Terra. And lastly, Spite-Ups is really interesting. This is the first week I really like its matchup, because his removal is a Hisuian Decidueye, and if you don't know how Sticky Web interacts with Booster Energy, it actually changes the boost you get to not be speed anymore. So this means Iron Crown, instead of getting a speed boost, gets the attack boost, a special attack boost, and Iron Leaves, instead of getting a speed boost, gets an attack boost. Also, obviously helps with stuff like Armor Rouge, but webs are really nice just for generally screwing up his booster math, and also giving me the speed advantage, which I already kind of have, but having even more will be nice. So with that, let's get into the team itself. First up, as I was talking about, we have Terra Dark Okidogi. I was between a bunch of variations on this set. At one point, I had Misty Seed with Misty Terrain Grimmsnarl, and when I had Psychic Seed to use Psychic Terrain. I ended up just deciding to go Moringa Berry because it's the most consistent. If you don't know what Moringa Berry does, when you're hit with a special attack, you get a special defense boost once. So, especially if I'm behind white screen shots, you'll see where we have on Grimmsnarl, obviously. And I get hit with a special attack, then I get that boost, and if I'm at +1 defense already from a bulk up, this thing is nearly unkillable. Dark is very good defensively into him. He has very few ways to break it. His Drain Punch obviously is huge. He keeps me healthy, enables me to be a win con. Knockoff hits all the psychics. Also, just getting the Dark Stab is really nice. And Iron Head is here for the Carbink, because, again, Carbink is coming. Like, he has to bring it. The speed on this, 227, has to be 226. What is, I know what that's for. Oh, yeah, that is for, no speed. 227, I think that's for no speed in DD. I believe that's what it was for. Oh, it just allows me to catch some other stuff. Oh, I know, it's for, under webs, this outspeeds, Iron Leaves, that's why. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, there's a web speed here. So under webs, this outspeeds Iron Leaves and just smokes it really hard. So he's my primary win con this game. It's just very, very strong here. I don't need Guard Dog. There's no Intimidate. He is not going to be cooking a phasing move. He runs Hyper Offense every week. But if I can position Okidogi right, it could legitimately just 6-0 on the spot. He has very little counterplay. I don't really see much he can do if I get it set up and get going. Outside, legitimately just fishing for crits. There is no Encore on this team outside in DD, and under webs, I'll outspeed it and one-shot it with knockoff anyway. If it's like Boots, Encore, and DD, that's kind of insane, but fair play. But other than that, he just really has very little to deal with this. That was moving on to our next mon, which is one of our breakers. We have a Life Orb Tentacruel here with 3 Water Moves, Hydro Pump, Surf, Flip Turn, and Sludge Wave. Speed is for the Iron Crown if webs aren't up. And just hitting clicking buttons. I said his water resists are really bad. It's Veluza, which I don't think is, I mean, it's okay, it's not super ugly. Iron Leaves and Regidrago, and none of those really can recover off the hits, and Sludge Wave hits them all pretty hard. You may be saying Ice Beam is pretty good. Would be nice here for Weaves and Drago, but honestly, I don't think Drago comes, and Weaves get Terra anyway, so I don't think I need Ice Beam. Sludge Wave is just a nice secondary quick. It's also pretty free into this team. And Flip Turn wants to maintain momentum. I was between Flip Turn and Rapid Spin, but his Rocker goal work is really bad here, so I don't think Halves are going to be that much of a worry. You could run Rocks on Carbink too, but again, like, I'm not that worried about Rocks. I don't think he'll get a good opportunity to set them up even if one of those 2 mons comes, because they don't really force anything out very well. Well, Carbink does force out 1 mon, which is Grimstall. We have specially defensive Grimstall because most of his offense is special. And it's all psychic types. And Crunch, Spirit Break, Reflect, Light Screen. Very simple, just specially defensive set, a little bit last EV in defense. Stabs, Light Clay Screens. You've seen this a lot this season. You've seen me run a lot of screens Grimstall because it's kind of broken. And this week's no different. There's no Parting Shot because of the Carbink and because of the Psychic Terrain. However, Psychic Terrain does not stop me from using moves that target myself. So Reflected Light Screen will still work under it, which is great. Yeah, it's a pretty basic Grimstall set, but it's what's coming, especially. He knows this set's coming because he knows, like, I have to bring it. So he will have prep for it. I wouldn't be surprised if he has Brick Break on something, but still, like, this is pretty reliable here. Now we have another Win Con or Breaker. This could clean up if Okidogi does go down. This is Choice Banded Sneasel. Knockoff Icicle crashes the team really hard. As you can see, his Dark Resist are Gar and Moltres. His Decidueye and Carbink, and the first 2 gets smoked by Icicle Crash, and the last one gets hit by Metal Claw. This may seem kind of whack, but if you've ever played Naptix Draft for a long enough period, you have almost always seen Metal Claw Weavile run for like stuff like Mega Dancy. So this pretty much came to mind immediately when I realized Carbink is definitely coming. This doesn't obviously Oko because it's a Sneasel, it's a Carbink, but if I get some chip, like some minor chip, if I get like 65%, this should kill. Then last week's Ice Shard, yes, he has his Psychic Terrain, but I didn't really need a 4th move, and if the terrain isn't up, this could come in handy. So I figured might as well. Speed is for Weaves, just in general. Outside of Webs, just in case. Your ability. I think Air Focus was here for, I don't remember. It might be here for, like, in hindsight, I probably should have run, like, a Pickpocket, but oh well. Doesn't really matter, so its ability is usually irrelevant. Now, after that, I did allude to it to the team builder. We do have Rindoberry Sandaconda, because Terra Electric Weaves is very likely. We have Earthquake. It's most of the teams. Skitter Smack is actually really useful here. So Scare Smack is a weird bug type move that's 70 base power, 90 accuracy, lowers target special attack. But it actually I believe with this investment, with like full investment, it usually one-shots Leaves. Sis, if he doesn't want Terra because of the risk of Earthquake, I can just Scare Smack him and knock him out clean with the Rindoberry. Glare's obviously here for power because against hyper offense, I need as much speed control as possible. And Rocks are nice for the Gar Moltres and the Arm Rouge. Nothing too crazy in this set. It is very fast. It's very offensive. Like Okidogi, it's 227, so this does outspeed Iron Weaves under Webs. I believe this spread does still take a +2 Leaf Blade. Not necessarily a +2 Leaf Blade with like a booster attack, but +2 Leaf Blade. So if he's like a Sword attack, should be able to deal with it. And last Pokemon we do have is coming off the bench for the first time. We do have Spidops, big agent Spidops, with Webs, Counter, U-Turn, Memento. We have Focus Sash, also a ton of Fizdef. Fizdef is just there to like help check Iron Weaves in a pinch. It doesn't. I could have gone like more offensive and done U-Turn, but I figured this could come up if I don't end up losing too much health on Weed. I can just come in later on Weaves and U-Turn, do a ton of damage to it. Memento, stops anything broken from getting too set up. Where's there? Counter, because I'm a Sash. It's unlikely this comes up, but again, like, this thing is here for Webs. That's why it's here. I guess I could have fit Spikes on here, or maybe Toxic Spikes, but realistically, this thing's for Webs, and that's what I need. And it should do that job just fine. Maybe it can do something else, we'll see, but as long as it gets Webs up on lead and nothing like gets the setup on it, I think it's done its job perfectly. So, just to recap the team, we've got Terra Dark, Moringa Berry, Okidogi, our primary win con. All of our breakers, Life Orb, Tentacruel, Screens, Grimstone on support. The Banded, Season can be a breaker or a cleaner. The Rindoberry, Lure, Sandaconda with utility and tons of offense. And the Web Spidops. So that's everything. Wish me luck. Let's get into the game. So here we are with the battle versus Viz. Let's just get right into it. And let's pause that preview as usual. So we pretty much see what I expected. Guardian Moltres, the Carbink that I knew was coming, Armrouge, Iron Crown, Indeedee, and Terra Electric Iron Leaves. Like almost everyone's brought Electric into me. It's just really good. In terms of what we don't see, the main things we don't see that I thought could come were Veluza and Hisuian Decidueye, but neither of those are great here. However, not seeing Hisuian Decidueye means that my webs are insane here. So I'm just going to weed Spite-Ups and Quick Webs. Like, not really much need to think about it. Yeah, so just Spite-Ups, no reason not to. You can't really punish it at all either. Out comes Armrouge. I do appreciate the Yu-Gi-Oh nickname, as my names are also Yu-Gi-Oh themed, but obviously his are more old school. And let's get a quick Sticky Web turn 1. He does reveal Taunt with Armrouge, which I really did not expect, so that's very good prep from him. Fortunately, it does pretty much force me out immediately, because I can't U-turn on him. There's one that will put me down my sash, which means it'll be rude to get webs up later, and 2, it also means I cause him to get weak on the show line. So I'm just going to go hard into Okidogi, take an Armor Cannon, which does a ton of damage, revealing his modest max special attack, which is really scary. However, this is pretty much not that bad of a light screen. It's actually take 2 more so I can get my screens no matter what. Yes, I'm just going to light screen here. Even if he taunts me, I go first because it's a prankster, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to switch out into Karibo, which is Carbink. That's a free light screen. The one worry here is he could get up rocks, which would not be ideal, because obviously my Sneasel isn't boosted in this game. But I am just going to go hard Spite-Outs because this thing can't Oko me, and this way I can guarantee get out my webs. So he's going to get up his rocks here, which makes me really regret not running Rapid Spin on Tentacruel. Definitely would have been helpful to not, get rid of that, to get rid of the hazards so Sneasel can have a cleaner endgame. But hopefully it won't be too problematic. Now Spite-Outs just a quick Sticky Web, because what else would it do? Quick Spikes. So now Sneasel is in kind of bad shape. He's going to be taking 37% every time it switches in. So obviously pretty bad. So let's go. Basically, he only gets to come in twice, which is not ideal for a Pokemon that's meant to, break. He's going to switch out to Carbink, go back into Armors. As I'm just going to U-turn here, is caught in the web. So I'm going to U-turn, get off a ton of damage because of Stakeout, doubling damage, so it does like 40. But I do proc the weak armor, which is very scary, obviously. However, this is just a really good opportunity to just go into Okidogi and start staying up. Like, I'm behind a light screen, it can't do anything at Terra Dark. If he taunts me, fair enough, I'll just knock off him next turn and knock him out. So I don't really care if he taunts me. I do take 25%, I do take a 21%, or 18%, I'm out, let's say, baby. I'm just going to Terra and bulk up. This is pretty much a no drawback play because of the light screen I still have up. And he's actually going to click Endure, expecting me to knock off. But, however, I'm just going to bulk up on this turn, catching him. And that's put me in a very strong position, because now he can't Endure again. Meaning I just have the freest knockup of all time. I could have considered going for a second bulk up, but that felt kind of greedy. I only have so many light screen turns. And honestly, I don't need to be higher than +1 to sweep this team with once the Manga Bear gets proc, so no point in cooking the second one. He's going to switch out the Armrouge and go back into Carbink, which I will just knock off here. Reveals to be Sturdy instead of Clear Body, which means I could Parting Shot around Crimson, but it's fine. I'll knock off its Custap, which makes sense on a team this hyper offensive. And now I think I just Iron Head here, right? I'm pretty sure Iron Head, Iron Head kills from this range based on the knockoff damage. So I can just Iron Head here. It does not appear to be physically defensive. I mean, it's probably more specially defensive as a Braviary check. So I just go for my Iron Head. He does scout for it, go back into the Armrouge, very good play. So I get the Iron Head, do a good chunk to it. I do get the Toxic Poison, which is helpful. I don't think it's that relevant, but like everybody have helps. And now I believe I checked. Yeah, it was my last turn of light screen, so I can just actually just knock it out with a Drain Punch. I take any hit really well. Of course, the poison means he can't quick endure is the main thing, but since I'm Drain Punching, it wouldn't really net him much advantage. Because if he had low HP, he wouldn't get weakness policy or anything, which did reveal after the game he was weakness policy. Since I'm Drain Punching here, he wouldn't get it. So Armor Kings could fire off, do like about 25, but this procs my Moringa Berry, putting me exactly where I want to be with Okidogi at +1 special defense, +1 attack, and +1 physical defense. So Okidogi is going to take out the armor. The crit didn't matter at all, so because he was already -1 from the weak armor. So now my light screen's going to wear off me. He can bring in a special attacker to try and break me, but it's still going to be very difficult with my investment in the Moringa Berry boost. Obviously, he's in a really bad position here, so he needs to think for a while to figure out how he's going to possibly beat this. He just go into Galarian Moltres. Neat shiny. I'm just going to Drain Punch. It's pretty free. You can't do that much to me. Even a Hurricane kind of bounces off because of the boost in my special defense. He has Quick Hit. The Hurricane connects, does about 100 damage, but Drain Punch can hit really hard. And he heal off a lot of that, actually. He has his Berserk boost, of course, but even with that, he's not going to do that. I'm still going to live with a healthy chunk after a Hurricane. Once again, he's thinking real hard, because again, this is a position just winning. He's going to quick Memento, which, funnily enough, he did not intend to have Memento in this matchup. His Galarian just got misgened when he tried to make it shiny, meaning that he would have just had to quick Hurricane and pray for a confusion. However, having the Memento puts him in a really good spot, because now I'm at -1 attack. Even though I have my defense boosted at -1 attack, which isn't great. I will say, and you guys agreed with me after the game that I'm pretty sure I just won if he did have Memento, because this thing just killed everything and would have just won 6-0, gotten the clean sweep. But, you know, he did have Memento, so that worked out for him, I guess. So it does give Okidogi 2 KOs, though, between Armrouge and Moltres Galar killing itself, which counts as Okidogi kill. In comes Iron Crown. And honestly, in hindsight, oh, no, never mind. I forgot. It gets the booster, which boosts his special attack stat. And because I'm low, Knockoff won't do enough damage. He doesn't have an IMA anymore. And Tachyon, I think, does actually 2 KO, maybe as a special attack booster from this range, so I am forced to switch. I'm really thinking hard what to do here, because I was just thinking very scary, but I am just going to go and Spy Ups and sack it. It doesn't really do much else here. You're going to take a lot of hazard damage, as he is going to click Calm Mind. So he wanted to boost special attack to be able to, you know, just smack the Okidogi, makes sense. However, I also have my own Memento, except I intentionally brought Memento on my Pokemon. So this way, if he tries to hit further, I can weaken him. Although, with obviously a special attack booster and plus a special attack, if he quicks the attacking ball, will just fall over. He does quick Agility though. I catch him with that and get off the Memento, putting him down to -1 special attack. Obviously, with special attack booster, so it still hits pretty hard. But this thing isn't going to sweep me anytime soon now. And now I just bring in Sandaconda, which in hindsight was not a great play. I probably could have gone into Tank or something, but actually, I didn't really have a great play looking back on this. But I remember in Sandaconda, I'm just going to quick Earthquake. I don't have another great play here. This Iron Crown has put me in a bit of a tough spot. But he does switch it out into the Iron Leaves, which I am going to quick Earthquake on, do an okay chunk. And I don't have a switch in, so I have Reverse Gears back, but I think he's going to Terra Electric to avoid a Glare, so I just quick Earthquake. However, he doesn't, he stays in without tearing. And so if I had Sears back, he would have just gone down, and we wouldn't have taken the damage with Sandaconda, which is unfortunate. That's how it is. And now I'm going to Scares back because he knows I'm going to Earthquake. So this should take out the Iron Leaves pretty easily. However, for some reason, this stupid move has 90% accuracy, and Sankon's going to go down with missing a Scare Smack. I don't know why a move that bad isn't 100% accurate, but here we are. So, that forced me to bring in Sneasel and take its first switch in. Again, it only gets 2 because of all the hazards, but I don't have a choice. I have to bring it in because I don't have another way to force out this Iron Leaves at this point. It's like an integral, but still. And in comes the Carbink. I'm just going to knock it. It's going to do like virtually nothing here. Yeah, as we see, it's virtually nothing. But every bit of chip on the Carbink does help. Now I'm going to go out to Tentacruel because even if it gets another hazard up, I just take virtually nothing so I can fire off a big attack, which is helpful. He's actually going to double into Indeedee, which is a very good play. I do respect that double a lot. And as another play, I definitely screwed up. I definitely should have just gone Grimmsnarl, and because this thing can't really do it, I could have started setting up screens again. But for some reason, instead, I'm just going to stay in and attack it, which I don't really get why I did that, but I did. Yeah, I could go into either of my dark types. I think my 3 dark types would be a solid position, but for some reason, I stayed in. He's going to quick Expanding Force after I Sludge Wave him. This looks good to do a ton. But he's going to knock me out of Expanding Force, and I don't know why I sacked him. I definitely should have just gone to a dark type. Like, the reward... I don't know why he clicked that, I'll be honest. I feel like that was a really big risk where I could go on to aim my dark types and pressured it out. But I am going to use that opportunity to get in Grimmsnarl. Take some more hazard chip, unfortunately. And I'm just going to light screen. He's going to quick Healing Wish, though, so it will go down, which is really bad. Because I didn't kill the Iron Weaves earlier with my Sankonda because I missed my Scare Smack. Now he gets the Iron Weaves back and it's at full health. Also, earlier, I forgot to mention when I was calculating the Leaf Blade damage into Sankonda, it revealed he was Choice Band. So this thing's now a gigantic issue. Choice Band moves are really scary into my team right now because getting back at full, I can't do much about it. And it would have been really nice if this thing was dead from Scare Smack, but you know, it's Pokemon. However, because Iron Leaves is not... Iron Crown's the damage, you just have to bring in yet. So you're just going to bring in Iron Crown and attacking card and knock me out. Fair play. Don't really have a switch in, even with the light screen up, because of the hazards. So I do just have to sack the Grimmsnarl. He's looking at agility, but I get off a huge crunch, which is really nice. Does about 60%. So he does outspeed me now, but he should be able to knock out Okidoi for light screen. Since I know he's going to knock me out here, I'm just going to click Deflect. I guess it's a risky could have Calm Minded. That would be an insane play. So he's just going to knock out Grimmsnarl with the attacking cutter. And now I bring in Okidogi here, because obviously Sneasel would die. However, with the light screen up and my tons of special defense investment, I should with this attacking cutter relatively safely. And I'm just going to knock off. I think I should have Drain Punch. I think he was in Drain Punch. I don't know if he was in Drain Punch range. No, it's knockoff, right? Two Tachyons, I do take very little from that. Although obviously since I'm so low already, it's not great. Hindsight, maybe I could have Drain Punched, but I believe Drain Punch was a roll to kill, so I would have had potentially taken our Tachyon anyway, which would have put me even lower. So, but now we can bring in the Iron Leaves and get the Healing Wish, which is very scary. Again, this thing should have been dead, but Pokemon. So he gets the Healing Wish, goes back up to full. Gets the Sticky Web, meaning that I will move before it. And I believe I just Drain Punch here, expecting him to Terra. He does Terra, so I get that play correct. Even though Knockoff would have been more dangerous than Drain Punch heals me, gives me the potential of living an attack from this thing. There's Drain Punch do about 30%, which isn't actually that much. But Knockoff wouldn't have done that much anyway, so he's got a quick Leaf Blade, which is a lot. However, I do outspeed, I can still just hit it again. I believe this time I do Knockoff to get off as much damage as possible, because Drain Punch won't heal me out of range anyway. So I just knock, get off as much damage as I physically can. Bring it down to about 20%. Get a big Toxic Chain here, which will be assumed to be about 15% after. I don't really feel bad about the Toxic Chain though, because again, this thing should be dead. It shouldn't even be around to get Toxic Chain, because it should knocked out the Scare Smack. So this gonna do it down to about 14%. And now I'm down on my last Pokemon, which is just Sneasel. And it's the last switch in anyway, because the hazards, but it was my last Pokemon. So I am going to bring in Sneasel here. Take a Toe of Chip. And I just have to click Metal Claw, because obviously, none of my items will kill the Carbink. Metal Claw, I believe, was a roll here to kill the Iron Leaves. Yeah, Metal Claw is a roll to kill the Iron Leaves here, so I just have to click it. It does knock him out. Meaning it's a one-on-one endgame, Sneasel versus the Carbink. Yeah, I believe this is another damage roll. Into physical, especially defensive, which we can determine it is. It should be my favorite, but it's not guaranteed. Sneasel's gonna click Metal Claw. It will take out the Carbink, giving us a very tight 1-0 victory. I'll take a win. A win's a win. Obviously, I would like that 6-0 of Okie Dokie. That's how Pokemon goes. But that's a huge win for us. Brings us up to 5-2 plus 9, which is huge. This means that if I win either of my last 2 games versus D-Ray and Kirby, I should be a lock for playoffs. If I win both, I almost definitely get to choose my opponent, which would be nice. Yeah, so that's about it. Unfortunately, this does pretty much knock Viz out of playoffs. Obviously, he's a great player, but I'm very happy I got the win here. I very much can. It helps me a lot. So with that, next week we will play D-Ray, who is a friend of mine. Also, he's played in my league, my showdown league for the last 3 seasons. He actually promoted the first 2 times and went really far the 3rd time once he finally made it to the top division. So he is no slouch. Even though he's winless so far in LTM, I'm not going to take him lightly. I know when he's on his game, he can be a very good player. But ideally, we can take him down next week and lock up playoffs guaranteed. And make it so that when I play Kurt week 9, I don't have to bring my real prep, because he also is pretty much locked for playoffs at this point. So that's all. Thank you to Viz for the battle. GG. It was a lot of fun. Very close. Came down to a lot of moving pieces at the end game. With that, I'm going to head out. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or night, everyone. Thanks for checking me out. It is Endless, saying peace.